Hello, and welcome back to the Various Topics Show with MattAlford. I'm your host, MattAlford, and today's topic is going to cover a very serious and ongoing situation, the protests and reasons why deployment with the National Guard involving the Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, or ICE for short. P.S. We will be back in just a moment from the episode list as I want to break down the reason of the city leaders of not just Los Angeles leaders, but the reason why the state of California wanted to reject help from the federal government assistance and the National Guard. So gather all your important information and please be careful if you protest or from a news reporter perspective, reporting the facts out there, everybody. All right. Over the last few days, I'm sure we all have witnessed on the news and social media platforms the ongoing protests in the LA area involving the ICE deployment. And I'm also sure it's why the National Guard is being deployed out there. That is the question here. Sure, the reason why the President of the United States deployed the National Guard is because the governor and the mayor of LA couldn't control the total chaos out there in them streets. And when I mean chaos, I really mean infamous characters who want to cause nothing but cow mess trouble, which involves vandalizing and looting businesses to torching Waymo vehicles. Now, I never rode in one of those self-driving cars myself, but when I saw those vehicles on fire, my initial understanding was, what the heck does that have to do with anything? What did the Waymo self-driving cars do to you, man? That really was a cow mess disappointment. Because seeing that there was no protest, that was extreme ignorance, criminal activity, and arson is what I saw in its aftermath. While attempting to keep the peace from two top leaders, my caboose, but in actuality, protests have occurred for decades, way before the African American while in custody passings. But not just the arrests. This is a repeat of history. Prime examples when this happened was during the LA Watts riots of both 1965 and 92, respectively. Several sports events, especially after the biggest winning championships of several sports teams, such as 1995, 2010, and the events of Dallas, Texas in 2016, respectively. That unfortunately resulted in a Cole 187 of 6 Texans law enforcement officials, which occurred on July 7th of 2016. Okay, now for the understanding of peaceful and just unlawful unrest and just straight up criminal behavior. But the only massive difference is that there are peaceful protests and then there's this crazy cow hot mess behavior. Peaceful protests is voicing your opinion and why something shouldn't happen or should happen, and following officers' orders, such as stay out of the streets, walk this way, and follow traffic safety laws so cars and protesters don't collide with each other and nobody gets hurt or gets agitated. While anarchy is just causing crime and criminals are just taking advantage of the protests and committing crimes so they can blend into the situation. That's almost saying I'm a saved Christian, but then 5 days later you are doing things that are leading to judgment and potentially consequences. You either live that you are saved or you commit chaos, but you can't do both. And it just causes complete confusion. Meanwhile, while that happened with protests over the weekend, a sheriff's deputy from LA County was shot and wounded in the Lancaster area of northern LA County. Reports say it was a 211 aka robbery, and the suspect was shot as well. Reports also say that the suspect passed and the deputy was critical but survived. Usually this would have made a massive response whenever a deputy or law enforcement officer is shot, but it did not make big news for a couple of reasons. One, it was encrypted up in that part of the county, meaning people in the general public can't hear anything or critical information over scanner traffic radio frequencies. And two, it was because of the ongoing protests within the LA area, mostly around the downtown area for the most part. Note, this incident happened early Saturday evening. And now a word from the Holy Bible, chapter Psalms 147, verse number 3. And it reads in part, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That means he is there even during our dark days and emotional pain, and calls for hearing during these rough times, especially during the ongoing protests and major social issues everywhere. In conclusion, fans continue to fight police encryption and reporters stay safe out there while covering the stories of protests. And for city leaders, let's pray together for peace and calm as these protests continue to happen. And as for anyone who ever commits to chaos, they will get whatever is coming to them. And this does not just go to Los Angeles, but anywhere in the United States and around this cruel place we call the world. In addition, when the Higher Almighty is ready to bring his true children home, myself is enjoying that motorcycle sidecar journey to his house. Whose house? Whose house? It's God's, the senior's house. That's who. All right, this is your man Matt's special reported episode, and now back to the scheduled list of upcoming airings. Stay safe and adore one another, everybody.